OBS is still streaming somewhere. Question is where exactly. Not the same stream. YouTube just closed it. Oh, I guess YouTube is OBS is streaming here. No, not here either. But there we go. There we go. Fuck. Yeah, let me change the title of the stream right quick. Fucking hell. Really? Did it really have to happen? Great. Fucking amazing. Oh boy. My streams are cursed recently, aren't they? Okay, pop out the chat. Just in case anybody's still here. There we go. Hopefully my internet doesn't drop again. I would notice tiny lapses in my memories from time to time, but I never knew there were so many unfamiliar details within them. Actually, when did the stream stop? Let's recap. You talk about your past self as though she was a completely different person. That's because as far as I'm concerned, she is a totally different person. The academy, the training and experiments, the nursery, all this time I thought my memories of these things were complete. You know what? I'm not gonna guess it. I'm gonna check the VOD to see where it ended. But when she realized that her potential was real and that her power was the result of a carefully constructed plan, okay, she knew she could do it. You talk about your past self as though she... Okay, cool. So I'm all caught up. We good. I would notice tiny lapses in my memories from time to time, but I never knew there were so many unfamiliar details hidden within them. Especially the test all three of us went through. It seems as though my memories of that day were completely erased. Could it be that my memories of the past are entirely different from what actually happened? I'm sure Vice feels the same way about it too. Good thing we were able to glean a bit of truth. Good thing we were able to glean a bit of the truth from these machines, right? Since you were also chosen for their experiments, it's likely that you lost your memories for a similar reason. Not quite. After seeing my past, you should know that I wasn't chosen to pilot the Colossus. My memories don't indicate otherwise anyway. All the same, I'd really like to know what happened to her next. Your hunches were mostly correct. According to the lab's latest reports, they're officially ready to activate the Spearhead Colossus. The pilot they've currently selected is a 4-year-old girl from the nursery. Her compatibility with the backup systems is the highest out of any other test subject. Are you kidding me? They're forcing a little girl to do this. Don't underestimate her because of her age. Prior to this project, it seems the committee had been training her for an entire year. It's possible that she has even more experience than any of us. She even achieved a 20% success rate on her initial trial. Denier, you... Don't put it that way. I'm only being realistic. Have you seen how our fight against the Eclipsites is going? Given the current status of the experiment, risking a single child's life for the sake of countless others yields a high probability of success. That's still no reason to talk of a child's life. We can't wait any longer. We have to do something. Setting aside the question of where to even begin, you only just regained your command privileges. Dinar and I are also being isolated from you, which means you have no one else to rely on you. Hello, welcome back to the stream. Technical difficulties, eh? Even though I only regained some of my previous privileges, that doesn't mean I'm starting over fresh. The strongest soldiers of the First Legion have already agreed to follow me. I'll do my best to shake off surveillance to set up correspondence in one of the nearby undercities. Reach out to Barton if you need to contact me. He's agreed to help us as well. You may be isolated right now, but that just means you have more freedom to gather information. Dinar can handle the lab's progress. In the meantime, Helios, we need you to find out how many more of these secret experiments are being carried out in Illumina. Whether it's the upper echelons of the military or the researchers, we have to be prepared for the worst possible scenario. We're at war after all. And when I become Grand Marshal, my first order of business will be to fight for the lives of every innocent victim of these experiments. But we still don't know how powerful the committee is right now. Don't you think this is too risky? If they have another Reinhardt somewhere on standby, our chances of success will be even more slim. Then we'll just have to go with Plan B. Aurorians can survive just about anywhere, even in an abandoned undercity. As long as there is enough food, water, space, and light, a settlement for Aurorians together can be built. And wherever Aurorians gather, there will always be a need for a Grand Marshal. You're thinking too far. You're thinking way too far ahead, Denier. I have no intention of letting things get to that point. After all, our original goal was to provide a place of shelter for every crisis-stricken Aurorian, to protect the children who, like us, have no recollection of their own parents and must rely on their fists to survive. Lots of people in Illumina share the same story, huh? I only knew about Vice before, but after seeing this, I feel so sorry for everyone. No one had it better than anyone back then. I'd wager plenty of people had similar experiences as that 4-year-old girl. As for Vice, I'm starting to think that her memories of these experiments might not be entirely real. You, on the other hand, seem to sympathize a lot with that girl. So did your plan work out in the end? If you have to ask, then all I can do is remind you that I'm the Grand Marshal of Illumina now. Are we still talking about the same you? Or the same Illumina, for that matter? Is that really important? It's obvious that her plan ultimately failed, isn't it? I think it's very much important. I'm curious to know the outcome, even though it was all in the past. But what you're saying right now sounds like it's coming from the Reinhardt of today. Part of it implies your victory over her, while the rest implies her failure toward Illumina. So I have to ask, where exactly do you stand now, Reinhardt? Would it kill you to be more direct sometimes? I'm only complicating things because this is you we're talking about. Then it sounds like I need to be more honest with you. To tell you the truth, I'm a little confused myself. Do you think that Reinhardt is more like me, or that I'm more like her? You don't need to shy away from the question. I won't be upset regardless of what you say, I promise. That's not what's on my mind. She just seems a lot more free and uninhibited and, sorry, I don't really know how best to describe it right now. Don't worry, you've already hit the nail on the head. As you can see, we're a lot different from one another. At any given time, someone in Illumina could be going through the same hell I went through back then. You think that after all these years of seeing the brutality of the Dark Zone for myself, I haven't been changed by it? I thought I hadn't. With all my heart, I wished I hadn't. When I was young, I thought I could shield the entire Federation all on my own. But after losing so many comrades, I started wondering to myself, even if I could protect everyone on my own, how long could it possibly last? If someone young and angry like her stood in front of me right now and called me useless and corrupt, and swore to tear me down and build a bright new world in my place, I don't know if I would stop her, support her, or even... I may not understand the burden of leadership like you do, but as your friend, I know for sure that you're not that kind of person. You're also far from the only one supporting Illumina. I know what you're trying to say, but after seeing her and remembering everything that happened back then, I can't help but feel a little discontent. Still, I'm not afraid to share these things with you. Seeing me like this must be a little disappointing, huh? Not at all. Let's go back. The others must be tired of waiting for us by now. So the Grand Marshal was seeing herself in the past memories. What about you, Barton? How much do you know about what happened back then? My understanding is that Reinhardt, Forsaken, and Helios were secretly planning something back then. I also told you that I would support you no matter what, but I never received word of anything until the very end. I only knew that you were somehow involved in the lab's explosion, but I had no way of investigating the matter at the time. Our hands were already tied with the Darkover crisis, and there was a world's worth of work to do in the aftermath of the fighting. You still hadn't made Commander by the time we saw each other again, but you were already poised to rise. Poised? Poised? Poised, I think. Poised to rise far beyond that rank. So even after all that happened, Reinhardt got promoted again? That's right. And she was a completely different person by then too. Steadfast, imposing, and an absolute terror on the battlefield. Her already impressive power seemed to grow with each passing day. Compared to her and her explosive growth, I was just a lowly grunt stomping around in the mud. So while I carried out my missions, I also put myself through my own brand of special training. That's also around the time I started going harder on my subordinates. I see. So that's when the 2nd Legion developed a reputation for its harsh and unforgiving training methods. Bang bang.
Yeah, and here I thought it was over already.
Why do they keep crashing into the walls? This place is too structurally unstable to withstand their collisions. We need to stop them before the walls come down and bury us alive. That's probably why they keep banging into walls. To bury you alive. That's a nice start in it. Bring them in the middle. Create a nice opening. Proc Barton. Nice. Yeah, easy. Yeah, I'm not gonna use your skill, Yola. I'm sorry. You're gonna do more wrong than good. And 9. Confusion. As you explore the base, the Colossus waiting in its depths extends you an olive branch. Is everyone alright?
I'm good, but I'd rather not take another fall from that height anytime soon.
I'm fine, Grand Marshal. What about you, Angius? I'm good. Thanks for the save, Barton. I would have gotten squashed just now if it wasn't for you. A little extra training and you wouldn't need to rely on me so much, you know. When this is all over, I'll be sure to add altitude training to your daily regimen. It looks like we landed in the lowest level of the research facility. Why do they need such an enormous space down there? No, I can answer that. I can answer that without having to dig into my memories. This is where they kept it. All I see is a pile of huge bones. Wait, this is the Colossus I sensed earlier. Given its current state, it's no surprise that the Undercity had started to collapse on itself.
Can you still remember what happened during those experiments back then, Reinhardt? My memories of that time aren't entirely clear, but I know for a fact that she never appeared again after I became a Legion commander. Still, I have a pretty good guess as to what happened here. They must have thought that they buried everything, including my past. But she's still lingering here for some reason, as though she wants to tell me something. I think that this place, or rather the accident that took place here, is the last piece of the puzzle related to her. Whatever happened here caused her to separate from my body, and also granted me the overwhelming power that made me the Grand Marshal that I am today. After learning the truth behind the phosphorus program, I'm not surprised by anything about myself anymore. Ulysses once said that I brought a decade of peace to all of Illumina. Looks like I became the perfect super soldier after all. Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. We still have plenty of investigating to do. We might even dig up some new evidence proving that your power came from discovering your true potential. My first sounding on end means we're not alone down there. Not the noise. I know what it is. Mind the link. Spearhead. You came just as you promised. I didn't promise anything. You're the one who asked me to find you. But now that I'm here, I need to ask you a few questions. I know what you seek. You wish to learn more about a certain girl's past, or the past of two different girls. I knew it. Weiss in Reinhardt's lost memories are tied to the Navigator's selection experiments that took place here. Tell me what happened to them back then. What you seek is but a small amount of data stored in this place. But the data is scattered and fragmented. In my current state of disrepair, I am unable to retrieve it or even see it clearly. Are you asking me to help you retrieve it? You are the one searching for the data, not I. Then what should I do? The ones who tore me apart attempted to reshape my systems using their outdated technology. As such, I can no longer restore them to their original state, Caelestite. That device, however, will allow you to connect with me and find what you seek. I just have to put it on, right? Wait, Angus, what are you doing? I just made contact with Spearhead's consciousness. It says that I might be able to find what we're looking for by putting this on. Don't you remember what you told me before we came down here? I do, but with things as they are right now, this is our last remaining clue. We fought so hard to get down here. I don't want everyone's efforts to be in vain. I know it's a little dangerous, but we all have each other's backs, don't we? This is also what I meant when I said you're not the only one supporting Illumina. You can count on us too, Reinhardt. Even if Spearhead tries to do anything, I'm sure everyone here can put a stop to it. After all, Illumina already defeated it once before, right? Well said, kid. I never get tired of seeing you stick up for your friends in their time of need. So, what'd you say, Grand Marshal? Understood. Just be careful, okay? I will. So first I have to put this on my head, and then psychic. Adjustments to the Colossus are nearly complete. I'll notify the tech officer right away. All we need to do now is find a suitable navigator, and we can begin testing. Which of the subjects has the highest compatibility? Following the tests we ran on our 3 previous candidates, they started emitting personal information for the rest of our test subjects. Only their data is visible to us now. I remember those 3. Their data was rather promising, if I remember correctly. Indeed, they came from the Artificial Sun project, after all. However, there were notable differences between their performances and the test results. The committee has reason to suspect that they deliberately misrepresented their capabilities during the experiment. Is that so? Then, regardless of their compatibility with the Colossus, if they're willing to lie to us during testing, we have no use for them. If the committee finds them guilty of this, they'll need all the luck they can get. I can't stand the way these scientists talk, but I have to keep watching. When will we get to the part of the 2 girls, Spearhead? Soon, I promise. Wait for the signal to extend Caelestite. Search for a special button, and then press it. Special button, huh? There, quickly, Caelestite. Why is the scene suddenly... Quickly, press the button. Hurry. My head. What do you think you're doing, Spearhead? Press the button and let me be free. As the weapon of Eclipse, I will destroy all Aurorians in the name of my masters. Death to Illumina, death to those impudent fools, and especially that man. For leaving me in such pitiful state, I swore to exact vengeance upon them even at the cost of my existence. Such powerful hatred. Am I still in Spearhead's memory files, or is it its actual consciousness? If it's letting me see this, it means the Colossus' mind is already way too unstable. This might be my chance to look for its weak spot. Telepathic reach! But instead of Spearhead's weak point, a piercing scream rings out even more clearly. That scream. It's her. Are you there? Can you hear me? Reinhardt? That's strange. You're my first ever visitor to this place. I finally have a chance to talk to you. Finally. Reinhardt and I, the other you, I mean, we've been looking for you all this time. The kid's been wearing that thing for a long time now. Why hasn't he moved yet? It's only been about 30 seconds, Commander Barton. Don't be in such a rush. I just said that time flows differently within the subconscious world. Let's just keep waiting. And just put his trust in us, so we should do the same for him. Meanwhile, we need to be ready for battle at all times if we're going to protect him. Watcher 3 o'clock, Barton. Ha! Just what I was waiting for. Suddenly, dozens of small machines come flying out of the remnants of the Colossus. This big guy was only pretending to be dead. Protect Angels and get ready to fight. Encounter! That's from PGR. Doesn't fit here. Let's see. Let's bring everybody a little closer together. How about that? Yeah, this seems like a good idea. There we go. That should do the trick. Yep. Exactly as predicted. Barton's extended reach is really, really useful. Sure, Yola, you're not gonna make the situation any worse. Yeah, this is good actually. Boom. Done. N10 Rebellion. Through the device, you come across the girl in the Colossus's data. And we want thunder. And that's more or less what's happening outside. Reinhardt, didn't you hear me? I did. I'm amazed that stubborn fool actually became Grand Marshal. You say that as if you were talking about a different person. It's not that far from the truth. There's a world of differences between us, after all. You're actually sounding a lot like her right now. You must be a Celestite, right? Me? Yeah, that's right. Think you can use her powers to let me speak to her. I have something I want to tell her. Normally that would be fine, but I'm using one of Spearhead's devices to communicate with you right now. I can't afford to destabilize Spearhead's consciousness even further, or else it'll be even harder to stop. And after discovering its connection to the Eclipsites, bringing Reinhardt in there would be way too dangerous. Which reminds me, what exactly caused you to stay here? So you're saying that if we can divert the Colossus' attention, you'll have a way to work around it? I suppose suppose that's possible, but how are you going to draw Spearhead's attention? Like this, obviously. As wild flames quickly spread across the entire space, she begins cackling maniacally amid the raging inferno. Ah, it's been so long since I felt this good. Sorry, Colossus, but after hearing that you're friends with the Eclipsites, I don't have a shred of sympathy for you anymore. I can hurt your physical body, so setting your entire mind on fire will have to do. Hurts, doesn't it? You, how dare you? You are nothing but residual data in my consciousness. I can erase your existence whenever I please. The space is disappearing. Spearhead must be deleting the data. Your consciousness is being stored here too, isn't it? Are you sure this is okay? Yeah, I'll be fine as long as it doesn't catch me. What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is, run. You sounded so confident just now. Is this really the best idea you could come up with? Ha ha ha. I would actually love a Reinhardt alter, and it's just her. It's just like plain and simple alternative Reinhardt. She's fun to have around. Yeah. Felicia, how can you be playing with those things when they're attacking us? Sorry, they just look like a big long tail when they link up like that. I couldn't help it. It makes sense when you put it that way. The Colossus must be controlling each of these tails to attack us. Even if it can't move its body, its command center is still functional enough to attack us with its skeletal remains. Those are my thoughts exactly. As far as I'm concerned, this rundown Colossus is only good for wagging its tail at us now. Huh? And yes? Of all the times to show up. Wait, don't move. An electric current? Get away from that tail, Felicia. Something's not right about it. The bones are multiplying. Stand on guard, everyone. Oh, the Colossus might attack soon. And I can smell explosions coming from inside the walls. The structure is going to collapse. We need to clear out these cables and find a place to take cover. But what about Angus? Forget it, I'll just carry him myself. Hey, Grand Marshal, now's not the time to... I can hear a countdown. Reinhardt? An electric current, an explosion, and her screams. Reinhardt! The same thing happened back then. A nearby wall explodes, sending cables and rocks crashing into the ground. Endless slash. Burton cleaves an enormous piece of falling debris in half before it lands on him. He then keeps his momentum going. Burton, now's not the time for daydreaming. Also, what did you think of my technique just now? That's a very nice illustration. Fucking saved. And of course, Felicia yawning in the foreground. It was as ferocious as ever. Thank you, Barton. Thank you for always fighting by my side. It's only natural, isn't it? Now come on, this place is too dangerous for... Don't worry, I'm fine now. I just need to go through what happened back then one last time. Is she finally, like, whole? Again? The, like, electric current transmitted the old Reinhardt consciousness into her or something like that? The building rumbles and crashes as the walls come tumbling down. Like the eye of a storm, Reinhardt stands completely unfazed in the center of the chaos. Even the air around her looks perfectly still. Go take cover. I still owe this guy a rematch. We're fighting a Colossus, hey? That's an extended map. Oh, I like dark tiles, but not this kind of dark tiles. Once a battle Colossus who charged headfirst into the fray in the name of the Eclipse, it is now just a shattered pile of rubble, its last remaining threat lying in its tailbone. Constantly summons peripheral units to defend itself, avoid them to deal damage to them. Capable of dealing damage to targets in a large area and generating peripheral units that move in a cluster formation to block Aurorians. Gotcha. Ooh, double strike. That's cool. I should probably swap her with Wraith then. Is this the Wraith that... No, it's not the Wraith that has an extended... Oh well. Not a... Yeah. How do I attack it? Like this? No, it doesn't take damage. Oh, just gotta destroy the grunts? Is that it? Apparently that was enough. What is this place? It's a space created by that device. It uses Spearhead system data as its foundation. Thank you for wounding Spearhead from the outside. Thanks to you wounding Spearhead from the outside, we safely took cover in here. Your powers are a lot more impressive than I imagined. Not only could you help me control Spearhead's consciousness, but you could also pull her in here as soon as she unleashed her Lumina. It solves the fighting outside while also ensuring that the device's operation remains uninterrupted. I'm sure you'll accomplish even more incredible things with this power in the future. Thanks, but you're the one who came up with this plan, which I still think was way too dangerous. What if your data got deleted? There's no such thing as a battle without risks. Besides, everything worked out in the end, didn't it? You managed to temporarily put a stop to the fighting, and I was able to learn more about Celestite abilities. And now that I know I can trust you, I can safely say that this person hasn't changed much from how I remember her. Long time no see, Reinhardt. It feels a little strange to hear that, considering I only started to remember you today. But long time no see, Reinhardt. Reinhardt... Yes? If it makes things any easier, you can call me Renegade. That's what everyone used to call me behind my back. I know they didn't mean anything good by it, but I always liked that name. See, I mean, it's a ready-made fucking alter name. Reinhardt Renegade. You don't even need to think of a name, you don't need to think of a design. Just give her an alter. Make her a 5-star welfare unit or something, so she doesn't power creep Reinhardt. Right? That would be so dope. I just don't know if you still remember any of that, Reinhardt. I see. You're not sure if I'm still the same person you once knew, and I only just remembered that you existed. So why don't we get to know each other again? What does this rambling mean, Angius? It's Spearhead. It found us. Forse busto. It was you, people. You were the ones who destroyed my body. You were the ones who buried me alive for 13 years. Now die. Forse busto. Ugh. I can make a barrier to keep Spearhead at bay for now, but this is still its domain. Despite how chaotic its consciousness has gotten, I still might not be able to keep this up for long. Who's asking you to stop it? If someone hits you, shouldn't your first reaction be to hit them back? No. Your data is still being stored here. If we fight back right now, there's nothing more pointless than being indecisive in battle. If you have a way to win, then use it. Renegade! Damn it. Scorching flames rise up once again. I need this image captured. This video. Yeah, that's such a cool visual. And I'm gonna grab a screen as well. But mostly the recording. Yeah. Although the blaze is simply a representation of Spearhead's data being destroyed within a mind space, its flames are more dazzling than those of a real fire. Like an unstoppable tyrant, she wields the power of fire to consume everything in her path. Have you gone mad? Your existence is but a string of code within my system. Without a physical body, you'll disappear. But we'll also win. Your body was destroyed a long time ago, and your mind could never keep up with me. You truly lost your mind. Ha! Sorry, Spearhead, but we win. I know, we don't have much time left, Aegis, but could you lend me your power one last time? Before I go, I'd like to get to know the army a little better. Sure? No, wait, that's not right. Renegade walks right up to Reinhardt. From this distance, their reflections can be seen in each other's eyes. I think there's a better way for us to understand each other. Merge. Remember that year you went for the checkup to get into the academy? That was when we first met. Everyone else had already gone home after their exams. But the doctor asked me to stay. What's the matter? No, I don't know. But I get fevers all the time, so maybe there's something wrong with me. I hope it doesn't keep me from entering the academy. It won't. How do you know that? Because I can see it. You're not sick or anything. The source of your fevers is the Crimson Dragon burning at your back. Huh. Crimson Dragon, eh? I mean, we heard Crimson Dragon mentioned early on in the story, but what the fuck does it mean? I've no idea. And 11. Burn. Baby Burn Disco Inferno. Her existence is shrouded in obscurity. Only those who have walked her path understand all she has gained and all she has lost. Thunder again. They probably want me to use Reinhardt here because she's Thunder, but I'm Reinhardt-less, so not gonna be able to do that. Live fire drill. Tell me, what hurts more right now, your wounds or your hunger? Shut up. Oh, I see. You can barely stand right now, can't you? Poor thing. I said shut up. Is this really all you can take? If you lose this disgracefully in battle, getting ridiculed will be the last of your problems. I won't make the same mistake ever again. Oh, really? Because I think your skills are flawed at their most fundamental level. If I could fool you like this, what makes you think you stand a chance in real battle against real Eclipsites? They're 1,000 times more merciless than me, I promise. If Aurorians could use textbook knowledge to defeat them, we would have won the war long ago. That line of thinking just leads to a dead end. So if you want to survive and realize your ambitions, then you'll need to be stronger. Stronger than the strongest Aurorians in the world. And you'll need to be more cunning than the most evil Eclipsites in the eternal night. Only when you reach the most unimaginable of heights will you be able to deliver the final blow. Do you understand? Today's training is over. Now return to your barracks. Curfew is in effect, so no going outside after dark. Shh, come see what's happening at the Academy's deck gates, and don't let the instructors see you. It's the First Legion. What are they doing at the Academy? And why are they living with our weapon stores? Lots of officers have been coming and going since earlier this afternoon. They're gathering a large amount of resources and equipment. Even some of the Academy's strongest instructors have yet to come back after leaving with them. If my hunch is correct, there's going to be a battle in Ganon City tonight. I saw a defense map in the office a while ago. There's a poorly guarded area just west of the city's gates. It won't last if it comes under attack. It's the perfect place for us to show the Federation what we can do. I'm going, but not for that sort of reason. As a soldier of Illumina, my orders are to protect the people at all costs. My mind's getting hazy. Subject's heart rate and blood pressure are dropping, and her breathing is becoming irregular. How could I let myself die in a stupid experiment like this? Vital signs are no longer detected. The subject's death is now confirmed. What do you think you're doing? It's not your time to die yet. Open your eyes already. These heartless scientists are just watching all of this happen, muttering to themselves without a hint of remorse. They're treating you like a tool of their convenience. Compared to the data they're after, your life doesn't amount to anything. If you don't want to die such a meaningless death, then get up right now. She's still alive? Ugh. They really raised the difficulty for this so-called explosive strength training. But at least it's finally over. Interesting. Her vital signs had completely disappeared just now, and yet she was able to regain consciousness and continue fighting. You saw that, right? That jerk looks even more disappointed now than when she thought you were dead. So don't die easily ever again. I won't. You're always telling us to be more honest with you, and yet you never tell us when something's wrong with you. Is it that obvious? Helios sees it too. He just doesn't say anything because he doesn't want to bother you. But I'm not as considerate as he is, which is why I'm asking you right now. What the hell is happening, Reinhardt? What kind of tests are they putting you through that you keep showing up with wounds all over your body? You're the strongest person among your peers hands down, so why are they doing this to you? Because even though you're strong, you have a tendency to go rogue when they need you to follow orders. They wanted to dull your edge, crush your pride, and turn you into a good little soldier like everyone else. But you didn't give them what they wanted, and now they're afraid of you. They have no use for a blade that cuts its wielder. If you don't want to be tossed into the furnace to be reshaped to their whim, you must stand firm, remember who you are, and keep hanging on. I still haven't grasped the entire situation yet. So can we hold off on answering that question tonight? I promise I'll tell you everything once I know the truth. Well, it's a breach of scientific conduct to pry into other people's confidential matters without permission. But if something happens to you, then I'm throwing those scruples out of the window, regardless of whoever holds me accountable. And I promise I'll be careful. The same goes for you too. Where am I? What am I doing? I have to fight the Eclipsites. Fight. Oh, it's Toto! To the left. Yeah, there's Toto here. It's not over yet. I have to keep going. Wake up. Snap out of it. Don't let them turn you into another tool at their disposal. I know. It's just a bad reflex that I haven't gotten rid of yet. I won't let this sort of thing control me. But what am I doing here? Wait, what time is it? The plan... Today's the day they're going to use the little girl to activate the Colossus. I have to stick to the plan. The numbing agent hasn't finished running its course, so quit your babbling. After all, it's obvious that someone found out about our plan. Where are the others? What do they look like? An Illumina surveillance system. I can only keep watch over... you. We're close to the base. Your daily training makes it easy for them to keep track of you, but your friends still have some time. If you want to check on them, your only choice is to escape. Now hurry. Once those researchers get here, it'll be too late. Oh, awake already? I see. Oh, awake already, I see. It seems your body has got much stronger recently. Go ahead and lay back down. We'll be injecting you with your next treatment soon. No, excuse me, but the treatments I've been getting lately... Suppressant 05, around 13 of treatment. Also that pathetic look on your face. She has a gun, so take it and kill her. That'll be our chance to escape. Reinhardt stands up and grabs the researcher by the arm, but is immediately stunned by an overwhelming sense of dizziness. The two researchers approach her. While one of them subdues Reinhardt, the other holds the injector aloft. No. A large volume of suppressant is injected into Renegade's body. You... Run! Don't let them steal your power, now run! Reinhardt clenches her teeth as she scrambles out of the door. My body, it's burning up. And my mind, why is it... No, this isn't right. I'm not on the training grounds, but I'm... Don't stop! It's you, are you alright? Stop talking and run! Alright. There's no going back for us now. We have to keep going deeper. Helios marked the room where they're keeping the Colossus on his map. It's at the other end of the research base and it's close to the outside. We can look for a way out from there and then find another undercity. Plan B. I bet you regret not listening to Denial or giving her plan more thought, huh? I blame myself more than anything else. This is all because of my ignorance and pride. My ignorance led me to blindly follow orders. Reinhardt reporting for duty. Sorry, I'm a little tired, so I'm going straight to bed. And my pride fooled me into thinking I could achieve my dreams someday as long as I put up with it. The Eclipsites you're currently facing are the weakest specimens in the experiment. This training is designed to forge you into Illumina's most powerful soldier. If you're unable to defeat them, we'll have to reconsider your candidacy for the program. Huh, who said I couldn't defeat them? Let's go again. It turns out that when people are trapped in a web, their so-called struggles do nothing but strangle them all the sooner. Stow that kind of talk. This isn't the time or place for self-pity. Dreams don't have to be impossible to achieve, you know. I can't stand following a routine, and I hate the feeling of going through life as though I'm reading from a script. If they keep trying to fit me into a box, then I keep breaking out of it, even if I have to burn it to the ashes. But you're different. Even though everyone admires you and praises your strength and intelligence, you're just as foolish as anyone else. Stubborn, stoic, intolerant of failure, and unwilling to budge even when you hit a wall. I told you so many times that those tests were meant to kill you, not make you stronger. But you never listened, and that's why we ended up in this mess. But it's because you never listened, that you've owned yourself into the sharpest and most brilliant blade in Illumina. That's why those bastards will do anything to control you, even if it means endangering themselves. They're cowards, but their greed overpowers their fear. They want to trim your branches until you become their perfect soldier. And I happen to be the branch they most want to trim. That's enough. I don't need to hear the rest. I know you think I'm stubborn, but that just means I'll never give up on the things that matter most to me. This might be the first time I've heard you admit this to yourself. Unfortunately for you, I'm still not the type to follow other people's orders. The reason all the suppressant treatments couldn't make me disappear is because I didn't let them. But now that you want me to stay, I've decided to change my mind. As long as I live, your chance to become Grand Marshal will not be taken away. Don't say that. I wouldn't be the same person if it wasn't for you. An alarm. The Colossus activation site is just up ahead. Something must have gone wrong. This scream, it's that girl calling for help. Hey. Granru? Her compatibility decreasing? Has something gone wrong, Tech Officer? The actual parameters for the reserve navigator are different from those in report. Has anyone seen the test subject in person? No, ma'am. The committee won't allow it, but I know I've read the parameters in the report. It doesn't matter now. The Colossus is about to lose control. Tech Officer, where are you going? I need to beat her now. The subject is in danger. All personnel evacuate immediately. All personnel evacuate immediately. The Colossus has gone berserk. Adjusting the parameters isn't doing anything anymore. At this rate, the girl inside the piloting room... pulling the pilot out of there will now... Pulling the pilot out of there right now will only make things worse. This mess is in the tech officer's hands now, not ours. I'm sure the committee will figure something out. What's more, the only way we can obtain the data we need for future activation attempts is by keeping that child in there. Look down there. What happened to this place? Stop! I know what you're thinking, but you narrowly avoided death just now. If you go down there in your current state, you can forget about becoming Grand Marshal or anything else for that matter. If I just stand by and watch that poor little girl die, then I don't deserve to become Grand Marshal either. I wanted to tell you something before. I know you've always shown yourself to me this way, but in the end, we'll always be the same person. So stop looking at me like I'm such a disappointment. Even I can have my rebellious moments. Another very nice shot. They said my dream of becoming Grand Marshal was like a bottomless pit, one that constantly lured me in and sucked away my spirit. A dream that would consume me and eventually kill me. But the Grand Marshal I aspire to be doesn't care about status or glory. All she needs is the strength and authority to protect the hurt and the suffering under her watch. That's why it doesn't matter if Illumina accepts me or not. At the very least, I'm going to be that little girl's Grand Marshal. When we first met, you said there was a burning dragon at my back. I still don't fully understand what you meant by that, but if I have the power to become fire, then let me be the fire that burns away this rotten status quo. I can still hear her voice. She's somewhere inside the Colossus. But if I don't deal with its tail first, huh? The suppressant they ejected into me, is it also suppressing my Luminatics? You really are a fool. They called me your alter ego and said I'm the rebellious side of your otherwise obedient persona. They tried to get rid of me so that only your useful side remained. But for all their so-called intelligence, they never saw us for who we truly are. Rebellion and obedience are just two different types of firewood with the right amount of heat. Both will ignite and become an unstoppable fireball. Hey, Reinhardt! The crimson-red hem of her clothing flutters in the heat of battle. With a wanton and defiant smile, she turns and gazes at her other self from afar. My power's in your hands now. Use it. I guess that's the dragon. The renegade. A wave of lumina surges through the dancing flames. Shining particles scatter throughout the blazing heat and begin to converge in the very next instant. An enormous dragon of pure flames encircles Reinhardt as it pierces the Colossus's tail. Renegade disappears with a bang, but her laughter and burning gaze linger. Burn it all to your heart's content. Never let any of them steal your power. And of course, illuminated finale.
今度は私が守る番ね。稲妻が全身を駆け巡っています。
Okay, it's not protecting itself. That's good. Very, very good. This is probably gonna get me more dark tiles, doesn't it? Yeah, fewer conversions, but more dark tiles. That should be it, right? Yeah, very much so.
女王陛下もきっと喜んでくださる。
S3 Burial. Are we outside again? Ah, but what about Spearhead and the other Reinhardt? That big fella got turned into a pile of scrap a long time ago. It could only fight us with a single tail. The rest of its body was completely out of commission. If that thing could still move around, we should all be questioning ourselves. As for Reinhardt, isn't that her over there? No, I'm not talking about... Reinhardt walks over silently. In her hands is the machine that had tied so many people's destinies together. She's not here anymore, is she? No, but she won. She always wins, even against the current me. What exactly happened here? Maybe it was just my luck. According to the normal procedure, she should have disappeared from my life after my fever subsided back then. But she never disappeared at all. They managed to kill me, but they didn't manage to destroy us. It's Spearhead. Die, all of you. You still haven't accepted defeat. Your attitude disgusts me, Caelestite. I have no reason to be amicable towards one who has deceived me and harmed my allies. Aurorians have no way of receiving my power. It was their hunger for that power which never belonged to them that led to their ultimate demise. But she and that little girl were different. Their powers were greater than any of the other Aurorians, and so I was forced to pay a price as well. Power comparable to Reinhardt's. What kind of power was hidden inside a 4-year-old Weiss? The power to pilot me. Pilot you? My last crash landing took away my wings, and my last battle took away my body. Nothing remains of my former self. I cannot accomplish anything in my current state. Just because I sympathize with you doesn't mean I can forgive you for the things you've done in the past. However, I can deliver a message in your place. You must know a lot about the Eclipsites, right? In exchange for that information, Illumina might be willing to construct a new body for you. You wish to command me? Compared to my previous navigator, you are not nearly worthy. Was your previous navigator a Caelestite too? Traitor. No, we're not traitors. Those two girls and I follow our own paths now. We're true to ourselves. Yourselves. I am no longer certain of who I am myself. Well, whoever you are, you're not allowed to hurt any more people no matter your reasons. Say what you will, but I still have no reason to obey you. So the other Grand Marshal and Yumi, they're not the same, right? Makes sense, since only the Grand Marshal can see her. Wait. Weiss, a 4-year-old girl, and Reinhardt, the rising star of the Federation at the time, both were involved in those experiments. So why wasn't I aware of it? Give me a second. I need to sort a few things out. I know that Tech Officer Grund was appointed to her position during the Dark River crisis, and her first order of business was to activate the Colossus. I tried asking her about it once, and I was even discreet about it. But she just she just kept ignoring me and typing the word parameters over and over again on her computer. Well, it looks like I found more or less the information I was looking for. Aside from Gronru, many other researchers involved were also seriously injured. I don't even want to think about what would have happened if the Grand Marshal hadn't saved Weiss back then. Saving Weiss was nothing compared to what I once intended to do. It was like the curtain call for the fallen. I didn't know who Weiss was at the time. All I wanted to do was become her Grand Marshal at that moment. In your eyes, the Grand Marshal is someone with the strength and authority to protect the hurt and suffering under her watch. Doesn't that make you the only person fit for the job, Reinhardt? But this strength is the very brand imprinted upon us by those we were so determined to rebel against. Back then, I was just a hothead, completely fueled by rage. I didn't understand what it meant to be the Grand Marshal. All I cared about was meting out my own brand of justice and nothing else. As for my authority, I had no idea those experiments would tie our destinies together like this. Helios, Denier, and myself, we grew surprisingly close to one another. But in the end, we had to go our separate ways. Helios went through so much suffering. Helon and Vaughn were sent to the most dangerous battlefront and were never heard from again. But compared to them, Denier, or rather Forsaken, was the one whose decision aligned most with our original intentions. I watched as each of my closest allies disappeared one by one. And now that they're all gone, I finally became Grand Marshal of Illumina. That's the irony of my authority. That's not true, Reinhardt. All I see is someone who never gave up on her past ideals. You still protect the weak and defenseless at all costs. That much about you hasn't changed. Even if I'm starting to look more like one of those big shots from the old days. The me you see before you now is the me who made a compromise for the sake of Illumina. I've strayed from my initial deals, failing to grant them the illumination they deserved. Right, you've sacrificed even yourself. That's why you're the Grand Marshal. You've paid your dues. Isn't that enough? Reinhardt, I've been thinking about the old times. I have to admit, it's all a bit hazy now. If I hadn't experienced all of this today, I never would have known just how different you are now compared to your teenage self. Powerful, decisive, and inevitably at the heart of every battle. I still remember a time when we didn't have so much responsibilities to bear, the things we had to do, the way things had to end. Even conquering all of Astra was something we thought we could accomplish. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but as the Grand Marshal and our fellow soldier, everything you won up until today was through your own strength. Regardless of whether or not I knew what was happening behind the scenes, I saw your power grow with each passing day, and watched as you led your soldiers into countless battles that would remain engraved in the hearts of Illumina's people for the rest of their lives. So when news of your promotion to Grand Marshal started to spread, every single person in the Federation felt nothing but joy for you. At least in my eyes, the look you give me as the Grand Marshal is no different than the look you give me when we fight at each other's side. You don't think this is all part of the committee's plan? When I was promoted to Grand Marshal during the last Darkover crisis, it seemed as though the committee had no other choice. But for a cooled-off time bomb like myself, the best way to control me is to leave the detonator in my hands. As far as the scientists on the committee are concerned, this course of action was entirely appropriate. As was sending Rav to fight that awful battle in Twilight. Actually, I think the committee's attempt to destroy someone as powerful as you was their biggest mistake. Even if they refused to admit it, every soldier in Illumina, and even the nobles of Lumopolis saw it. During the Darkover crisis, you were the only realistic choice to become the next Grand Marshal. If you had half a mind to it, no one could stop you from overthrowing the committee and becoming the supreme leader of Illumina. That might be something Renegade would have done, but I'm a different kind of Grand Marshal, Barton. You're not disappointed in me, are you? Disappointed? Not at all. I've seen everything you've accomplished so far, and I know those experiments didn't turn you into any sort of monster. And after seeing what Forsaken had done in the last few years, let's just say I'm glad that kind of power is in your hands and not someone else's. I chose you as my Grand Marshal, Reinhardt. My life has been in your hands for a long time now. Disappointed in you? Ha! You know me better than that.
Yeah, something tells me that Commander Barton is Something tells me Commander Barton is a little upset.
That's because I am upset, also at myself. The more I think about these things, the worse it all feels to me. My closest ally was going through so much pain, but what did I do about it? I should have asked more questions. I should have...
Barton, thank you.
Regardless of what kind of Grand Marshal you may be, you're still the Grand Marshal of Illumina. And even a rebellious Grand Marshal can bring about some much-needed change in the Federation and improve everyone's lives.
Yumi loves dried fish as much as I do, which makes her the same as me. And I'll always be grateful that you became our Grand Marshal. In fact, I hope it stays that way forever.
I can't promise anything like that. After all, each new day brings new changes. There may come a day when I'm not the Grand Marshal of Illumina anymore. And it might be just as unexpected as everything that happened here today. Never thought I could ever witness how my own destiny changed with such a perspective. I still don't feel as though I fully mastered the power she gave me back then. But now I still hold the title of Grand Marshal, so I'll keep doing the things that only I can do. It's the only way I can stop those tragedies from happening again. I'll make our past ideals a reality. Whether it's the Eclipsites or those who seek to hurt our comrades, we still have many long and difficult battles ahead of us. Can I rely on everyone's support to keep Illumina moving in the right direction?
We're always at your command, Grand Marshal.
Like I always say, you're not allowed to count me out of anything.
You're always welcome to ask me for the latest intelligence too, Grand Marshal.
Then, once we get back, we'll start by investigating the aftermath of that past Colossus experiment.
Understood.
Everyone's already gone back. Why are you still here?
I could ask you the same question. You're still thinking about Renegade, aren't you?
I just feel a little sorry, that's all. I didn't expect to see a part of myself die like that.
Before she left, Renegade entrusted me with a question for you. If you are still angry about everything...
When we first got here, I would always hear her scream each time I sensed her presence. I thought she was screaming out of pain or sadness, but after seeing her memories, I finally understood she wasn't screaming in pain. She was howling with rage. She was angry, Reinhardt. Angry for every innocent victim of injustice and for every life that had been treated with cruelty and disdain. That eternal fury was engraved in her heart and in the deepest depths of her consciousness. She was a renegade born from the fires of anger. You should give her an answer. I don't think she'll like my answer, to be honest. And that's because I'm the Grand Marshal of Illumina now. I once heard someone say the Grand Marshal is like a flame, one that is ignited and fueled by the bodies of fallen soldiers. But a bright and scorching flame won't burn for long when it's covered. The fire within a single person will never be bright enough or powerful enough to illuminate the eternal night. That's why I can't let the expectations of countless people stay trapped within the person known as Reinhardt. But above all, I cannot regard myself solely as a savior. A truly brilliant world that shines with the light of illumination. It's a world we shall forge together. That's why I need to sand down a few of my own edges. Edges that may still be a little too sharp. And that's why I must bury her here. Reinhardt bends down and sets the device on the ground before sprinkling some dirt on it, as though laying someone to rest. After today, it'll really just be me. Goodbye, Reinhardt. I wish we had the chance to talk more before the end, but I'll always remember you. You are the one who made me complete. May I never forget the anger that once fueled me and brought me to this point. Like a final response, the dust on the device is gently blown away. You won't. So you've come, my anger.
And even if you do forget, I'll always be there to remind you. I'm part of your strength now, and no one will ever take that away from you.
Have you come to accept what I've become? I've learned to compromise over the years and fallen into the role of the evil dragon you perceived.
But you remembering me means you haven't truly forgotten where our anger came from. You were the one who struck me down, yet the very flames that consumed me ended up forging you into what you are now, the illumination we've all been waiting for. Now you're still on the right path, I bear no grievances. I'll always be watching you in your heart, and if you start to lose your way someday, I'll rebel against you.
Her smile always carries a burning intensity. Seeing it strangely reassures Reinhardt. Now we're talking. Deal.
There we go. That was a nice story.
That was a very nice story. I gotta say, I am going to make the decision to pull on Reinhardt more. I'm probably going to regret it when the when the anniversary comes and I'm short a couple of Lumambers for Vicky, but I'm hoping they're going to be giving away a lot of free pulls. I'm counting on the generosity of Tour Dog. So, wrong. Yeah, we got 5 more pulls here. So let's try to get Reinhardt. Yeah. Bust. 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 And bust. Fuck. I was hoping we're gonna have a nice moment with a success in my pulls. Fuck it, I'm gonna pull for Barton. Maybe he's gonna wanna come home at least. Nope. Another bust. There is no Like Aurorian trial? I guess not, because it's a rerun. Isn't it? Yeah. She has a nice skin. Yeah, imposing dignity. How expensive is it exactly? Oh, it's a gacha skin. Shit. It has this, though. It has this, though. Yeah, of course, 0.25% probability to obtain. And how expensive are the tickets exactly? Oh, it's like 2 layers of currency. Yeah, you gotta buy those. No? Oh no, gotcha. You buy tickets for money, and then from your pools you can get the yellow stuff, and you can exchange the yellow stuff for more tickets. You know what? This screen? No, not this screen. This? No. This screen, yeah. I'm gonna buy 3 tickets. It's cheap. Actually, 10 tickets is cheap as well. I'm getting 10 tickets. We're pulling on the costume gacha. And payment successful. Okay. There we go. I really don't spend on alchemy stars often, so might as well throw them a buck every now and then. Of course. I mean, this was predictable that we're not gonna get the skin, but I was hoping, you know. Oh, cool, we can get some Sublime, not even Star Flares. Great. Amazing. Do the other stuff, does it even go out of the loot pool or something? Yeah, okay, so basically you gotta pool enough to get enough divergent cocoons to exchange for the skin. Basically. Well, I'm not engaging in that. Tell ya what. And we did not get enough Lumamber for another pull. Maybe from the dailies. No, that's 20 Luma, and that's not enough. Oh well. No Reinhardt for me. Next rerun, maybe. And that's just the countdown to the next to the anniversary. So that's gonna be it from me for today. Thank you all for coming here and seeing this stream, even if it's broken into 2 separate parts because I lost my internet connection. Happens, but it's the second stream in a row that was cursed this much. Yeah, thank you all for coming, and like this video, VOD, leave a comment, stuff like that. As always, new season of anime is going to be beginning, so you might want to check that out. There's the VOD of my seasonal stream as well, so you might want to see that if you want. And yeah, as I said, that's gonna be it. So, oh right, support me, of course, monetarily, Patreon, YouTube. I think I might have like stream elements in the description as well. I don't know, Patreon mostly and YouTube. And here's my Patreons who are supporting me already. QB, Without a Net, Zarene, Yuki Ala, Ishtamu, Dr. Watt, Akamancer, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And with that, that's gonna be it from me for today. I'm gonna grab myself something to eat, and you guys do all the good stuff. Cheers!